On the other side of the volleyball tournament, the state 4A, the Utah Valley 4A teams really did not play very well. They all lost in the first round. Only one team was even able to win a game in their matches. Neil, how surprising were the struggles of the Region 7 teams this year?
I was shocked. I mean, one game? Come on. I mean, that's unbelievable. I think Provo was the team that won the game, and I just don't think I've ever seen that in the time that I've been covering prep sports where that region, those schools have struggled so much in the state tournament. I was really surprised.
Well, they've had teams that have played pretty well throughout the year. I thought Orem had a shot. I thought Mountain View was coming in playing pretty well. Springville, Provo, all four of those teams I thought had chances, but when I look back over what they did this season, Neil, I have to admit I'm not as stunned as I would have been because they've just not played all that well. Losing matches to Payson here and there, beating up on each other. They didn't really play at a high level, and they went into the tournament. I don't think they were prepared. A lot of young teams without a lot of experience in the tournament, and I think that hurt them. So as I look at it, I don't know. I see what you're saying in the sense that they may never have done this before, but this year wasn't by far their banner year.
We've seen that. You wrote a column about first or second week in football, how bad the football
teams looked at that point.
Were down here. And so, they showed better than we thought, but I really thought they would show better in state. I really did. I know they were down a little bit, but that was really a surprise.
I'm very curious to see how they bounce back next year because with all the youth, they should have the experience to be a lot better next season. We'll see.
Well, now it's time for my favorite segment of the show, the prediction segment. This is where we make our money, Jared. This is time for state tournament predictions. Let's start with 3A. We talked a little bit about that. Wasatch versus Logan, 9-3 Wasatch team against a 10-2 Logan team. Who do you like?
Well, I look at Logan. They shouldn't even be here. Delta had the game won in the quarterfinals and dropped the punt. I felt bad for the Rabbits, but I'm going to go with Wasatch. Their running game's too good.
Yeah, I like Wasatch in that one as well.
Okay, the other 3A semifinal game, we've got Union playing against Judge. Union's 9-3, Judge 9-2. Who are you taking in this one?
Well, I'm going to take Union. We talked a little bit about their offense. I like their offense a lot, as long as it's not a snowstorm or freezing rain. I think Union will win.
Well, Doug Bills has been impressive with what he's done at Union, but I think it ends here. Judge is only a couple blocks from Rice Eccles. This is a home game for Judge. I think Judge is going to win this contest. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the 4A state tournament then. Timpview and Mountain Crest. I wish you would take Mountain Crest in your upset special, but I don't think you will.
No, I'm not going to. Give me a score on this one. We're both going Timpview. Who do you have?
I like Timpview 42. I'm going to say Mountain Crest scores. I do this all the time. I give the other team a touchdown, and they don't usually get it, but I think they do score a touchdown, 42-7. A big score in a semifinal game.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go similarly. I was going to say 38-3, something like that. I just don't think it'll be close. So let's look at the other game. This one's intriguing to me. Skyview versus Pineview. Who do you have?
Well, I like Pineview. You haven't been a big fan, apparently, but I do think Pineview has the offense to outscore Skyview. It's going to make for a lopsided state championship, I think, but I'm going to take Pineview.
Well, I don't think it's going to matter, in my opinion, either, who's going to win. But I'm going to take Skyview because I think that their passing attack is going to be too much for Pineview. Pineview didn't show much against Bountiful. They didn't really play all that well.
Jared. It's one game.
But what have they been playing? I mean, they played against Dixie and Snow Canyon down there.
Those are good teams.
Which are decent teams, but they also played some of those 3A teams and some other things.
Well, I just think Skyview's region was all that great. Mountain Crest
is in the semifinals.
I know, but what does that tell you? I mean, that team was bad
Bountiful
most
knocked off Pineview. I'm going with Skyview.
All right, you can take them. Okay, let's do the 5A tournament. This is probably the biggest game of the year. This is actually a rematch of a game earlier in the year.
And the state title game last year.
So these teams are familiar with each other. Bingham and Alta. Originally, I thought Alta would win the state title. I jumped off that bandwagon. I'm sorry, I got to go with Bingham.
I got to go Bingham too, but I look at this game, and I wonder if Alta was looking beyond Timpanogos for this one. I think it's going to be a great game. I think this comes down to less than a touchdown, but I think Bingham's got too much for Alta.
I think it's a little bit more than that. I like Bingham by 2 touchdowns.
You're going to go, a little bit bigger score.
Yeah.
All right, the last game we've got American Fork versus Layton, the other 5A semifinal. Who do you have?
I'm going to take American Fork. I've been on this team all year. We talked about Chris Wernley. He's going to have over 150 yards rushing, a big game.
I like the details, Neil.
Yeah. I'm going to give you that, plus 2 touchdowns. I like American Fork over Layton.
I'm not going to go with it. I think Layton gets the win in this one. I think American Fork's going to be distracted because of suspension, some of the problems they're going to have. I think it's going to hurt them. Kind of a carryover from Hunter. I think Layton gets the win.
Okay.
Well, that's all we have time for again this week. We'll be back again next week to discuss what's going to happen in the 4A and 5A final games of the year, the state championship contest at Rice-Eccles Stadium.